What's up, you guys? Um, I've not been dodging making this video. Um, it's got a it's got a lot to do with who I am and why I am the way I am, and maybe why my drive is like it is. Um, you can tell I don't want to talk about it, huh? So, as you guys know, probably from my earlier stories, or if you don't, I'll tell you now. Whatever. I was created because Linda, the one who birthed me, was driving to Broken Bow and saw a 17-year-old. I think she was 20. He was 17. This was 1973. Picked him, thought he was cute, picked him up, brought him back to Idabel, spent a couple nights with him, took him back to Broken Bow. Never seen him again after I was born. He said, I'm a kid, I'm 18. He didn't want to have nothing to do with me. Wasn't his kid. He didn't really believe I was his kid till I was 15, 16, which, I mean, that's whatever. It was the 70s, different time. He went to the Army, got kicked out. I didn't know. I heard about it later. Um, Linda met the guy I called my dad when I was 5 months old, and big Indian guy. He raised us as best he could with her. She left when I was 12. She left me and my brother Shane, who are as kin to my dad as you are kin to me. And she she was probably, in all honesty, the most selfish, self-centered person. Um, I've met a few people like her in my life, but as far as remembering, I didn't realize it at the time. And I see other people who are raised similarly, who were a carbon copy or are a carbon copy of their parents. Carbon copy. So when I say she was self-centered, I remember her and my dad used to fight all the time. She loved to get high, smoke marijuana, which, I mean, it's the 70s and 80s. Everybody smoked back then. We would be in Oklahoma City. I remember she was waiting on my dad to get off work. He worked at Capitol Steel. Cold. God damn, it was cold. We didn't like the way that that smelled. So she would have us get out of the car, sit beside the car, um, so she could smoke and be warm. Because she's going to have her way. And rather than listen to us complain or her step out, she would put us out. And then my dad, he'd come out, he'd see us out there, and she'd try to get us in the car real quick because it was like a long across the parking lot. But he could see us, and he'd raise hell, raise hell, raise hell. They'd get into it. He'd go off and get drunk, come home the next day. She would always do dumb stuff like that. And I can remember my dad would come in and sign a paycheck over to her. The very, 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 very first thing she would do, go get weed, go get high, go, whatever it was. I completely, completely, completely remember that. Which in turn would make him mad, and he'd go get drunk and would not come home or have big parties. Or I can remember we lived in Broken Bow, and there was four of us boys. They would stop and get a case of beer or two, depends on who was there. That's where I get a lot of that from my dad. If you were with him, he had you. Um, if you just showed up, didn't have anything, and you wanted to get drunk, he'd make sure that he got drunk with you. He'd buy 2 or 3 cases of beer. He'd buy us kids a pop apiece, can pop. Y'all don't drink all that before we get to wherever it is we're going. You're gonna want something to drink when you get there. Um, he would say, get him a pop for now, get him a pop for later. She'd throw a fit. Nope, because now you're taking away from what she wants to do, or what you could buy her, or well, they've got their one pop, but I'm gonna need $20 worth of weed because you've got 2 cases of beer. That's all the time. She was the most self-centered. I can't stress it enough. I'm not talking bad about her. I'm giving you guys an understanding. It'll make sense, I promise. Yeah, the most self-centered, and every guy wanted her. She's like 5 foot nothing, overweight, redhead, um, demanding personality, like a smart ass. She thought she was funny, but she wasn't. And she had this little. I don't care if you don't like. Nobody fucking liked her. They tolerated her, I assume, short spurts. I never seen her have a lifelong friend. I don't know if it's pity. I don't know what it was. And then my dad. I don't know. I don't know how he come across Martin. I think Martin's dead now. I don't know how he come across. Maybe they worked together, whatever. So he and Martin became friends. Martin's a big Indian dude, and apparently that was Linda's type, big Indian dudes. So weed wasn't enough. Now Martin got her on meth or crank or speed or whatever it was. This is a 86, 85, 86. But he got her on a meth. That caused him a lot of trouble. That's when stuff really. I mean, it was bad. Getting to the end of the month, and then he would. My dad would always be drinking. She would always have to have her weed. Um, we go to school without pencils. We go to school with dirty clothes. You know, as long as she had whatever it was she thought she needed, and of course he had to have his beer or whiskey or whatever it was. Everything after what they had to have fell back onto us 4 boys. So we had a rough time in school over that. Which again, I'm not. Oh, poor pity me. No, nothing like that. Nothing like that. I'm trying to explain what I remember that makes me what I am today. So they got into it again. I can remember several times. He'd call us outside. He'd be crying, "Oh, your mom don't want me here no more." Blah boo hoo boo hoo. So finally, we just got sick of hearing it. We walked out. And I can remember because he got real mad. He's like, "Boys, I gotta talk to you." We're like, "Let me guess, you're leaving again." What? I said, "It's the same story. It's always the same story." "Oh, your mom don't want me here, and I'm gonna miss you." Boo hoo, boo hoo. I said, "We all know how it's gonna happen. Can we just get to the end of it?" Well, that got my ass beat, which that was all. I was always getting my ass beat for something. Yeah, I just got sick of it. Um, so that time they split up. That was my fault. Yeah, that was my fault. So anyway, Martin, I think Martin was from Shawnee, Tecumseh, somewhere up there, and he talked her into leaving all us kids and moving to Shawnee with him, and she did. And at the time, my nana, well, she's gone now. She lived in a big 2-story red house where the library is now. They tore the house down years ago, and we had to go there because we didn't have a phone. We didn't have jack shit. We didn't have water, cable, phone, nothing. Electric probably. Um, his rent was $36 a month through the Choctaws, and he was always behind. He was always about to get kicked out. $36 a month. Yep, that's how I grew up in the ghetto. So I remember calling her or somebody called. Somebody know we all got on the phone, and I was a kid. I wasn't even 13 yet, and I said, "Mom, I mean, why did you leave? I mean, why did you leave us? Like, why did you leave your kids?" She said, "I don't have any kids." I remember that. As sure she's sitting right here beside me, and she tried to apologize for it 1,000 times. She knows she said it. She tried to apologize before she died. Never mattered. So she never came back. That's when shit really, really got bad. I mean, before at least he had a reason to get up and go to work or do something. It's basically like when she left, he had no more reason. Like all he did was get drunk, get drunk, get drunk, get drunk. And I'm not trying to be funny when I say drunk Indian. I'm not trying to be funny at all. That's what I grew up with. I know exactly how fucking mean drunk Indians can be. And then Shane, he took off. He went to live with his dad. I didn't have that option. I was stuck. So, yeah, most of the time here I am, 13, 14, trying to raise my little brothers, trying to do what I could to get food. Yeah, mowing yards, whatever I could do. And it wasn't for candy. It was. They didn't have ramen noodles back then. They had ramen noodles. I'd been all right. They didn't have that. So, I'll tell you all that to try to maybe hopefully explain. Um, I say it all the time. The sun goes up, the sun comes down. The tide goes out, the tide comes in. You throw a ball up, the ball comes down. Every single thing in the history of creations, even Newton's law, every action has an equal opposite reaction. So, as nice a person as I am, by default, I'm also that mean. And I really, really, really used to really enjoy being that mean person. I used to just, for no reason, just be mean as hell. I mean, I was hurt. I was all the terms and psychological stuff that plays into it. I was all that. Should have went to prison? Absolutely, absolutely should have. A lot of people I grew up with did. Um, yeah, probably should have been killed at some point for all the situations I put myself in. Um, Never went to prison. I did get arrested, learned my lesson, expunged all that. Yeah, all that. Don't beat on my kids. Now, don't get me wrong. When they were kids, a little. And I've got a rule. I don't give a. It's none of my business, but I'll tell you if I'm anywhere close and you hit your kid more than 3 times, me and you are going to have problems. And that's just. I mean, I can remember. I remember him and her grabbing us by the hair and telling us we better count, and then just losing count. I mean, I can remember hearing them behind closed doors, one of the other kids, and losing count. I mean, it just yeah. And I got grandkids, and I'll kind of like my hands at them. I don't put my hands on them. Nope. I threaten them. People are gonna get your butt. I'll get your butt, and that's usually plenty. That they have no idea what that means. But I just don't talk to them that way. So people say I'll go get your butt. That's usually enough to straighten them up. And now Rosie, she's sassy. She knows I ain't gonna get her. She'll smile. She'll keep doing what she was doing. But it's nothing bad. Um, no, I've never had to put my hands on any of my grandkids. I'm not going to. My kids, like growing up, testing me, whatever. I'd swat them a time or two. Sometimes three. Sometimes three. Three's like for the worst. But if I see somebody just, yeah, or don't slap me in the head. Don't don't slap me in the head. Just don't. That's I I, I snap so fast. Somebody snaps, and don't slap me in the head thinking it's funny. I'll fight a grown ass man. I just don't. Keep your hands to yourself and don't slap me in the head. It's not funny. It's only gonna cause a fight, and then I'll feel bad about it later. But just don't do it. Just keep your hands to yourself when it comes to hit me in the head. You can punch me in the arm. You can tap me on the back. You can, hey, I'm all about that. I'm good. Don't slap me in the head. Don't do it. Mm. Um, because of constantly, just like, it wasn't like, hey, 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 slap you in the head. It was immediately slap you in the head and then start talking. Like, who does that? Who does that? And why? Just don't do that. Just, I know it sounds like I'm bitching. I'm kind of on a rant, but I really think the way I was brought up is why I work the way I do. It's why I try to be as nice as I am because I know exactly how mean I am or can be, and I'm completely okay with that, and I hate that. That's a product of my environment. That's a me trying to be better than I was raised, trying to be better than I was ever expected to be. Yeah, I said it before, y'all. I'm not playing. I'm not trying to get sympathy or sorrow. No, keep all that, all your sympathy, all your sorrow, and $1.50. I'll have a cup of coffee from Easy Mart. I don't need it. I don't want it. I've got $1.50. That's all I need for coffee. Um, yeah, constantly. You ain't shit. You ain't never gonna be shit. Quit acting like you're trying to be somebody. You ain't never gonna be shit. You ain't never. You tell somebody that enough times, it's gonna sink in. I'm just hard headed enough that I'm like, no, no. And then she left. Looking back, I mean, at the time, obviously it hurt. I mean, looking back, do y'all know how thankful I am that she left? Like I said, I've seen other people raised, by the parent or whatever, exactly to this day, exactly like that parent. I'm all like, the apple don't fall far from the tree, does it? Like, holy cow. I would have been her made over and would have no idea that what I was doing was wrong. I wouldn't have had any idea at all that that's a sorry human being. That's a piece of shit way to be. So when I say I don't want your sympathy, I don't want it. I am so thankful that basically I got a blank slate. My name, Williams, which for all intent and purposes is not my name. I'm not kin to any of them. I'm kin to Shane, but the name starts with me. I'm building my own name. I can't say, oh yeah, I'm proud of. I mean, I don't have anybody. My kids can be proud of the name I've built because of the name I built, which is completely a different person than what she was trying to create, or she was trying to build, or she was trying to whatever. I don't. She it's funny to me. It's morbid, but it's funny to me. Um, you guys know on Texas Street, past the Mickey Martin little trailer house, a check cashing place, a little tan house. That's where she was living when she died. She's so dumb. I can remember growing up. When you're coughing, you put your hands up there and she slaps you on the back. that she died thinking that's how you because she went to coughing on a ham sandwich. I'm not laughing. I'm laughing. Couldn't happen to a nicer person. She went to coughing, and everybody there was smacking her on the back. Not the Heimlich, nothing that actually works. And she choked it right there in front of everybody. Nobody could do anything for her. Nobody was smart enough to do the Heimlich because she never thought enough to teach anybody. She thought so much of the way she does everything. Oh, this is the law. My little brother, her own son, right there, smacking her on the back, watching her die. I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing. I'm laughing at the ignorance, not at her demise. I'm not laughing at her demise. I have no emotion whatsoever towards her being alive or her being dead. I just don't. And I know, oh, that's no, we dealt with that shit years and years and years and years and years ago. 38, some odd 38. No. I've long since got over, oh, that's my mom and I should know. No. I have no emotion whatsoever. It could have been a homeless dude from Lafayette, Louisiana, choking to death on the side of the road, and somebody smacking him on the back. I'm like, you're a dumbass. You're a dumbass. But the fact was, that's all she taught this person that was doing it. Because the way she wanted things done was exactly how it's got to be done. And that's what eventually cost her demise. And that's just karma. I was supposed to have been on duty that day. And for whatever reason, I took off. And they called me, Linda's I don't care. Quit talking. What? I said, you said Linda is, and I don't care. You're calling, you're crying, something's happened to her. Quit talking. I don't care. I don't care. They said, oh, we're having it. I don't care. Well, we're having her. I don't give a shit what you're having or when you're having it. Well, we're going to have her cream. Good for her. Get her heated up when she makes it to hell. Do you want her remains? Nope. Because I'll piss on them. Promise you, I would piss on them. Bring me her remains. I would piss on them. Now, it's funny that I say, oh, I don't have any feelings yet. That's just me being mean. Remember I told you? That's just me. 22 minutes of me bitching and pissing and moaning. Seriously, folks. That's why I am the way I am. Yeah, that's a whole lot of reason. Just wanted you guys to know that. If I'm extra mean, you know why. If I'm extra nice, because I'm trying to make up for when I was extra mean. That's all there is to it. This wasn't hard to do. I thought it would be. It's not hard to do. Laughing, joking. 22 minutes. See you guys in the next one. Bye.